The single-player DLC update possibly coming very soon to Red Dead Redemption 2, and with the success of single-player DLC in Red Dead Redemption and Rockstar's explicit interest in curating single-player games, story DLC might find a spot in Red Dead Redemption 2 in an upcoming new update. What is going on, everybody? Hazard here. Welcome back to another Red Dead Redemption 2 video, and in today's video we are going to be talking about single player DLC and the possibility of it coming very soon to Red Dead Redemption 2. So I first want to let you guys know that my gold bar giveaway is still going on here on the channel, so if you guys want to have a chance to win some free gold bars for Red Dead Online, all you guys need to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, drop a like on this video, comment down below what you guys would spend those gold bars on if you guys were to win the giveaway, as well as check out the gleam.io link down in the description to officially enter. So let's get started and let's backtrack way back to October of 2010. And if you guys know what happened during that month for Red Dead Redemption, that is when the Undead Nightmare DLC in Red Dead Redemption 1 released. It was a Halloween themed DLC, I guess you could call it, but it had to do with zombies in Red Dead Redemption, and it featured both a storyline mode for John Marston as a character in Red Dead Redemption. It was kind of separate from the main storyline. People speculated on YouTube between what missions it took place, but I don't think it was necessarily canon to the original story of Red Dead Redemption. But there was a story DLC for Undead Nightmare, and there was a multiplayer component called Undead Overrun. Undead Nightmare was really awesome in my opinion. It was about 20 or so missions long. It took you all around. You started out in John Marston's ranch out in Beecher's Hope in West Elizabeth, and then you migrated your way into New Austin and took care of some problems there. You took a train with some army guys down into Mexico, in which case you found a mask essentially which was able to heal all the zombies and turn them back into people. You saved your wife Abigail, you saved your son Jack Marston, and you all lived happily ever after. But then after that, the epilogue essentially of the Undead Nightmare single player and story DLC, you played as zombie John Marston, and it was really cool. Undead Overrun was the multiplayer component of Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare story DLC, and this was essentially a zombies mode, a horde mode where you fight waves of the undead. You had a limited amount of ammo. Essentially what you had to do was when the round started, zombies would start spawning all around you. You were in certain areas like Coots Chapel, Armadillo, Sepulcro in Mexico, and places like that. Zombies would start spawning all around you, and what you had to do was you had to race to a coffin in a certain amount of time, crack it open, which left you vulnerable to these zombies to get bitten, eaten, and killed, and you were able to get like loot, rewards, and also the valuable ammunition which you needed. And of course you would get up to like round 20 or 30 if you're a really good player. You get up even higher, but eventually you'd run out of ammo, you'd run out of time being able to grab those coffins, and people would die, and that would send you into sudden death. And if you died, that was it. So your group of 4 people went down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and the last person alive, and then they would get killed, and that would be the end of the game. It was super fun, and that was the story DLC in Red Dead Redemption 1. In Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar has expressed interest in single player DLC if the time is right, quote unquote, to them. There was a lack of single player DLC though in GTA 5, and of course I'm sure everyone can recall that. Rockstar said that they did have story and single player DLC planned for Grand Theft Auto 5, but Grand Theft Auto Online was such a huge success. Obviously the single player was put on the back burner. Rockstar was focused on making the heist mode, which still came out 1.5 years after the release of GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. And eventually heist came out, and players were wondering, okay, now that heist is out of the way, a single player DLC needs to be in the works. Maybe we'll get a Nico Bellic DLC or a Grand Theft Auto 3 DLC or something like that, and we didn't get anything. We didn't get any single player DLC for GTA 5. GTA Online was just too big of a success. Rockstar needed to allocate all of their resources towards focusing on the online, as well as developing Red Dead Redemption 2 during that time as well, because I'm sure that is when development really took off around 2013, 2014, after Dan and Sam Houser wrote everything for Red Dead Redemption 2 in the early 2010s. We're sitting here almost 5.5 years later after the release of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online, and there is still no single player DLC for it. Rockstar officially canceled it earlier this year. They said it's never gonna happen. Sorry, we apologize. And that really stinks. That was like the nail in the coffin. That was official confirmation from the developer of GTA 5 that single player DLC was never going to happen for Grand Theft Auto 5. And that's a real bummer because we were all excited for it. But now looking back, I don't think it necessarily needed to fit in there. Red Dead Redemption 2, on the other hand, needs single player DLC. So I want to know down in the comments right now what you guys think of a single player DLC for Red Dead Redemption 2, what would you guys want? Some of the things I would want would be a Sadie Adler DLC. When she goes down to South America, maybe she could get stuck in Mexico or in Guarma, and that could lead to players having a Javier Escuela DLC where he is actually in Mexico at the time. That would be a reason to put the Mexico side of the map in the game in both Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online. A Dutch Vanderlyn DLC would also be really cool if it was back in the day with Hosea Matthews. We see how Hosea and Dutch met each other because it was said in one of the trailers to Red Dead Redemption 2 and also in the story that Hosea met Dutch because they were both trying to rob each other back in the day. And that would be a really cool DLC to see. Some people don't want to see a Sadie, Javier, or Dutch or Hosea DLC. Honestly, any mini gang member DLC would be really cool as well. I think I've mentioned this in my live streams as well. If you guys have been watching those, I try and live stream as much as I can right now. But if you guys are watching those live streams, you've heard me mention mini gang member DLCs when people ask questions of what type of single player and story DLCs I want to see in Red Dead Online. And one of those is a mini gang member DLC where essentially every couple of months we can get a 10 or 15 mission story DLC with the gang members of Red Dead Redemption 2, be it Arthur Morgan, John Marston, Sadie Adler, Dutch Vanderlyn, Javier Escuela, even Pearson. That would be pretty cool if he's just hanging out at the camp. There's so many different backstories of characters that we've heard about and Rockstar has hinted towards in Red Dead Redemption 2's story, but we never got to fully explore. And so these mini gang member DLCs would be good opportunities for Rockstar to do those. They don't have to be super long, they just need to have a 3-act structure, beginning, middle, and end, just like every song, every book, every movie, and in pretty much every game as well, unless you have some weird abstract artsy game too. But a mini gang member DLC of each of the characters would be pretty cool as well. It would keep the hype alive for single player DLC, and that way we can get more consistent single player DLC than single player DLC coming once every year or something like that for the rest of Red Dead Redemption 2's life cycle until the next Rockstar game comes out. Another single player DLC I would like to see is Red Dead Redemption 1 Remastered in Red Dead Redemption 2. This would take a lot of resources. I don't think it's likely. I thought maybe that would happen in Red Dead Redemption 2 before it came out, and then once it came out, when I heard there was an epilogue, I was like, I bet when someone beats the epilogue, there's going to be a Red Dead Redemption 1 remaster. It would be like 2 games in one, sort of like Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered when that came out in 2016, at the end of 2016 by Activision and Call of Duty. I thought that would be really sweet. It never came true when we were playing the story in Red Dead Redemption 2, and I don't think that will ever happen. The voice actor for Landon Ricketts in Red Dead Redemption 1 is dead, and Rockstar Games would have to dive through so many legal hoops to be able to reuse all the audio, but then they're also probably have to like redo motion capture and things like that, and I don't think they would ever necessarily do that, at least in the near future for right now. Another one, of course, Undead Nightmare 2. And all these DLC ideas I have right now for Red Dead Redemption 2 single player DLC, I will be talking about in separate videos as well. If you guys want to check those out in the near future, I will be uploading videos specifically on those. And Undead Nightmare 2.0, though, is something that we all need, and I think is probably the most likely, especially because of the success of Undead Nightmare in Red Dead Redemption 1. I would love to see something like that. Also, Cowboys vs. Aliens. Rockstar wouldn't necessarily be able to call their single player DLC Cowboys vs. Aliens, especially if that's what it was about, just because right now Rockstar's in legal trouble with Securitas and the Pinkertons for using their, intellectual property and copyright infringement and things like that, and not paying royalties for using those things in the game. And so a Cowboys vs. Aliens DLC, it would probably just be called something else, but having to do with outlaws and cowboys and also aliens in the game. Rockstar loves to put aliens like Easter eggs and little secrets and mysteries and leaks in their games, and so I think a Cowboys vs. Aliens DLC would be very fitting for Red Dead Redemption 2 as well. I also would like to see mythical creature DLCs like vampires, werewolves, a cannibal DLC with the Murphy Brews up in Annesburg and the Kamasa River. Those would all be really cool. We have a vampire in Red Dead Redemption 2. We have a werewolf. Those could all be separate DLCs exploring those characters as well. The vampires in Saint Denis, the werewolf is by the Kamasa River, the cannibals are the Murphy Broods. I mean, there's so many different directions Rockstar can take this. And then lastly, one of the other ideas I had that I wanted to mention in this video was a Guarma DLC. When you go to Guarma in the story, you do a few missions there, right? If this was like a real life experience and you and your gang went to Guarma and all that stuff happened, you wouldn't just do like 2 or 3 like activities or 3 objectives and then be able to get out of there. I think Guarma, when Rockstar said that they cut down 5 hours on the Red Dead Redemption 2 story, I bet part of it was in Guarma because they thought it dragged on. But if they made it a single player DLC, we get to see what happens like with that one guy, that one native guy who helps you out with the revolution against, essentially the slaveholders, right? We could play as him. That I think would be really, really cool. It It doesn't have to be with Arthur Morgan, it doesn't have to be with Dutch Vanderland, it doesn't have to be with Javier Escuela or Bill Williamson, but it could be there with that one native guy that you guys help out in the Revolution, and I think that would be really sweet. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on all these type of single player DLC ideas in Red Dead Redemption 2, and please let me know your own that you have. I just want to give another quick reminder as well for the Red Dead Online Gold Bar giveaway that is still going on here on my channel. So if you guys want to have a chance to win, all you guys need to do to enter is subscribe to my channel, drop a like on today's video, comment down below what you would spend those gold bars on if you were to win the giveaway, and as well check out the gleam.io link down in the description to officially enter the giveaway. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.